No, you good. Yeah, man, trying to do something. We holding it up. All right, we're going to go in like 1 minute. I'm putting this on the Real Truth and Power page. Maryland, Catonsville. Yeah. Welcome to Real Truth and Power Live, where we provide powerful content to uplift the Black community with health, wealth, and knowledge of self. I am about to bring in my guest, my brother Chad Craig. We're going to be talking about real estate. He's going to be giving you some information. So hold on 1 second. We're going to start right after this intro. All right, my brother, you got me?
Got you loud and clear.
All
Happy to be here. I'm so grateful.
I appreciate you. We got a little echo, but we're going to make it work.
All right.
I wanted to talk to you because it's a crazy time right now. I know we're dealing with a lot of the virus and everything's being shut down. So I wanted to ask you, how are you going about dealing with, just the virus itself? How's your family doing? How's all that going?
First and foremost, let me put my shades on because we've been in the house for a little while and we self sheltered in place. So I'm gonna take my mind to the beach. So I'm gonna put my shades on, right? All right. As far as the virus is concerned, we want to do our part and stay safe, stay precautionary. We go out, we go get the necessities that we need for our home, but make sure we stay covered up, gloved up, whatever we need to do, because we don't want to bring. First and foremost, I know I don't. We don't want to bring that virus back home with us. And second of all, we don't want to continue to spread the virus. So it's very important to us as the community to keep the virus dying. That's the first thing.
Right.
Secondly, the virus has definitely affected the economy, and it took a very bad turn on the economy. So, it's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now, not just the real estate market, but definitely the stock market as a whole.
Right. Now, how is that affecting you as far as your clients? Are you still able to sell homes or everything's shut down right now?
No, absolutely, man. We full throttle. So the governor, our great governor, I love our governor, man. You know, he stepped up and he showed big leadership to us, to the community. And one thing that he labeled real estate agents and the real estate market, I mean, industry as a whole is essential personnel or essential activities. I myself, I'm not a nurse or a firefighter or a cop or a security guard or things like that. So I don't consider myself essential. However, my activities in the market are essential to keep the market going strong because at the end of the day, there's still going to be people in need of real estate, whether it's going to be they need to sell their house for whatever reason, they need to buy a home for whatever reason, and we just gotta keep it going. So that in itself makes our activities essential, not just me as a person.
Now, give some people some advice if they are trying to buy a house now. What can they do to keep that process going? Um, should they just be researching? I mean, what would you tell any client that's interested in buying a house and they pretty much can't go out to look at a house because everything is shut down?
Okay, so since this thing has started about I guess about 3 weeks ago, it really like blown up 3 to 4 weeks ago. I have implemented some virtual options for my clients where either myself or I have the listed agent or the seller. Let's just say they're buying a home at this point. The seller will send out a video, or I'll go get a video of the home, and I will have that client of mine to do a virtual tour of the home. And if they feel comfortable with that virtual tour, at that point we'll submit an offer on with a couple contingencies in there. Maybe to see the home at a later date, but they want to secure that home because they really like either the location, the layout, or whatever the nature of that home. And then we'll just go from there. We'll just handle business from there as the process go along. Because we definitely want to keep our clients safe. We want to keep the homeowner safe. We want to keep everybody safe. So in this process, we might go out and see 3, 4, maybe even 5 houses in one day. We try to narrow that down to what do you really like about this particular house, and then we'll go from there as far as a virtual tour is concerned.
Bad. Explain exactly what a virtual house is. What is that? Like, how do you go about looking at a virtual house?
Okay, so there's a couple different ways that I myself handle it. So the market has really responded. When I say the market, the listing agents and the buyer agents, they have really responded and pivoted their business to a digital platform. And with that being said, there's a device called Matterport where you can actually do a video. You can virtually put yourself in a home. It's almost like those VR goggles.
Right.
You can almost virtually put yourself inside that home. You can move around in that home, and a lot of people are familiar with the Matterport. They may not know the name of it, but you can click, go to the different circles, and go to different areas of the house. You may not be able to get a feel for the house, which a lot of buyers do like they want to get that feeling, but you can actually tour their house and see every angle, every detail of their home through the Matterport. And secondly, myself, I might go out, put my mask on, put my PPE. I never thought I'd be wearing PPE in my business, right? But in this industry, we gotta take precautionary measures. And I'll put my PPE on, and I'll go out and do a video, whether it be my phone, then I upload it either to YouTube or had that client on FaceTime or Google Duo, or even Messenger or video messenger, and I'll have them look at the house virtually or digitally on a digital platform where we can try to get a feel for that home and see if that home fits their needs of what they've been looking for.
I got you. So let's say I I find a house on the computer that gives me like that virtual tour and stuff like that. Um, you say then I would contact like a realtor like yourself. Um, how would that go then? Because clearly I can't go outside. Am I just stuck with the house? Because I'm sure a lot of other people are trying to buy that house. So how would I go about that?
Right. Yeah, we can do it. One tactic, or I'm sorry, one strategy that I've implemented was do a contingency upon actually seeing the home. That may be a 2-day contingency or a 3-day contingency. If any real estate agents are listening on this broadcast, I would definitely recommend that you consult with your broker to make sure that those contingencies will work with your broker, because every broker is not the same, and every broker has different laws and guidelines that they want to follow. But for me, I've put in contingencies where, maybe a 2-day contingency, we'll write an offer on a particular home, and upon the 2-day contingency, we get at least 48 hours to actually see that home. In that time frame, the homeowners may exit the home, and one thing that I do recommend that they do is just turn on all the lights, open up all the doors, all the blinds, everything, so it will minimize any touching once my client enters the home, and that way it'll keep everybody safe in that process. So if you like that home, we'll remove that contingency and we'll move forward with the process. After that, we have the home inspection. The home inspector does the same thing. He come in there with his PPE, maybe even a Tyvek suit, whatever you feel comfortable with. And he'll do a home inspection of the entire home. That normally is either a 7 or a 10-day contingency. Once we get the report back, we'll negotiate the repairs with the homeowner, or the seller, and then we'll remove that contingency. Then next is pretty much the up to the lender with the appraisal. At that point, you have minimal. You may see the home in person maybe 3 to 4 times at the most, and really that's a normal process. Really, with the home buying process, we don't. The buyer really doesn't only see the home maybe 2 to 3 times before they actually complete the transaction. So now, unless they want to do some measurements of furniture, blinds and things like that. But beyond that, you only, as a buyer, you only really seeing the home maybe 2 or 3 times before you go to the settlement table.
Okay.
Does that
So
make sense to you?
yes, it does. You
Okay.
good.
All right.
So what you are saying is that you can still go through the process of buying a home. That stuff isn't shut down, correct?
Correct. Because, like I said, the state of Maryland, Governor Hogan has made our activities essential. I'm not going to sit here, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, I'm essential, so I can roam the streets how I want to and do whatever I want to." But the activities of real estate are essential. So if you are a buyer and you're doing the activities of real estate, you are doing essential activities. So you can still go out to see that home. And until that's changed, today is what, the April the 6th. I'm losing everything running together now.
I
But
don't
I
even
think it's
know.
April the 6th, right? It's April the 6th. So as of April the 6th, we are essential as far as real estate is concerned. So you can do virtual settlements where they have virtual settlements where you and the settlement attorney are doing a video call, or maybe you and the settlement agent is just at the closing table, and me myself, I'm either on FaceTime, or that settlement company possibly has something virtually set up. I do believe I haven't tried this yet, or had the opportunity to use it, but they have what they call e-notary or e-notarize, where you can actually get your documents notarized via computer. I don't know how that process works right now, because, like I said, I have not had the opportunity to use it. I just had a settlement last week, and we didn't use that process. So I'm not that they just implemented that. I want to say the 1st of April. So I don't know how that process works, so I can't explain that. But as a notary, you have to be there and witness the people signing it. And most settlement agents are notaries. So if you're not able to be at that settlement table physically, the settlement agent does have a process where you can e-notarize those closing documents. Everything can be done virtually. A lot of lenders, settlement agents, real estate agents are starting to pivot or adjust their business to a digital or virtual platform because of this pandemic.
Okay.
So
Talk.
that was a lot.
No, you good. You good. Somebody said they were getting the reverb. You got a volume you could turn yourself down a little. They might be catching me in the back a little bit. That might have been what it was. Okay. Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
sounds better. I think that sounds better.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So,
probably coming from out. Yeah.
yeah. So, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, well, let's look at that notary real quick because so
Okay.
you saying, um, people look at the virtual house, they see the virtual house. You guys can talk about closing on it. Now, you do go out and maybe look at the house. You try not to touch
Absolutely.
everything. Um, and then you was talking about the notary. I think I did that one time where you don't have the notary doesn't come out. They like talk to you on the computer and you upload your documents. Correct?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And normally it's just a driver's license. That's all you really need is a driver's license to verify or validate that you are that person that's signing it because you're gonna be recording the deed. Well, you're gonna be the person on the deed, and they just want to make sure that you are the person that signed those documents.
Okay. Now I want to look at something a little different for all of our young people, all of our young couples,
Right.
or just single people in general that's trying to buy a home. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Talk about some of the things they have to tackle and they need to get as far as their credit and where they need to be as far as contacting a real estate agent like yourself. Um, and how would you do if they had bad credit? Any encouragement to them?
Okay, well, as far as credit is concerned, you definitely want to start working on your credit. You want to get your credit score up. FHA and VA have changed some guidelines. They have strictened their guidelines because of the economic downfall, and they are some lenders are asking for like a 660, 680 for FHA. FHA is probably one of the best programs out here because it helps you with down payment assistance. Can you hear me? Because I kind of lowered my tone a little bit. Okay, good. Um, but they kind of stricken their guidelines because of the economic downturn right now. So the possibility of buying a home is still there, but you definitely want to continue to get your credit history up. What else am I thinking about? It just slipped my mind. Oh my gosh. Oh, your budget. You definitely want to work on your budget. You want to make sure that you are buying a house for the right reason and it fits into your budget. I have several clients or had several clients in the past where they go get a pre-approval. The pre-approval is, let's just say 500, and maybe a couple, let's just say it's 500. And they say, well, I don't really want to spend that much, and when we first get introduced, I asked my first question as far as budget is concerned is, what are you comfortable with as a monthly mortgage payment? Right, and then some may say 1,200. I say, okay, we gotta be more real, be a little bit more realistic. And then I might can go up to 2,000. Okay, that's better, right? So they may get pre-approved for 500,000, which 500,000 is typically like 3,000 to 3,500 mortgage payment. But if you want to go to 2,000, we need to be looking at houses around 300, 325, somewhere in that range. So we don't want a $500,000 house. We want something that's 325. So that means you don't want to spend all that. And I respect your budget, and my job as your real estate agent is to protect your money and respect your budget, because I don't want to just sell you. I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to win at at the end of the day, because I want to be able to call my client Everett. I want to be able to call you and say 6 months from now and say, hey, how's everything going? Is there anything I can do for you? And I don't want you to be like, oh man, I am house poor. I can't go on my vacations. I can't get my wife. My wife, she can't get her hair done anymore, her nails done, things of that nature, which is very important to our opposite gender.
Right.
So yeah, budget and just continue to monitor your credit and pay off as much debt as you can, especially your secured debt as far as your credit cards. Try to keep them. And I want to preface this by saying I am not a mortgage counselor or credit counselor, so refer to a credit or mortgage counselor before taking my words with a grain of salt. But I've seen and experienced these things before, where or these conversations before, where you want to keep your credit card debt down to at least 25 to 30%.
Okay. So
Yeah.
talk about some of the things that someone needs to have at the table when they're ready to buy a house. I know you're gonna ask for the credit report. Um, what are some of the things that you're gonna need from someone that's ready to buy a home?
Okay, so when we first get introduced to somebody, there's three things that you're going to need to get what we call a pre-approval. Pre-approval is something that you get from a mortgage lender or a bank that tells you how much spending power you have in the market. It's almost like you having cash, right? So in order to get that pre-approval, you're going to need three things. You're going to need your 2 months of bank statements, 2 months of pay stubs, and 2 years of your W-2s. Those are three things that you're going to need to get a pre-approval.
Now you said 2 years of W-2s.
2 years of W-2. So right now we're talking about you probably can get away with 17 to 18, but if 18 to 19 right now, well, 17 to 18 probably work better because a lot of people still haven't done 19 yet.
Okay. So somebody's been working, say they've been struggling. Say for example, the coronavirus time. We're struggling. Um, a lot of people are getting unemployed, not working. Will that affect them? Is there a way to go around certain things like that?
That would definitely be a question that you would have to consult with a mortgage lender about. I'm doing something. That would definitely be a question that you would have to consult with a mortgage lender about. That I cannot give a straightforward answer. In the past, I've known that 2 years of strong job history is definitely a consideration. Now, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how that's going to work because this thing is fluent. It's changing every day. Interest rates are good one day, interest rates are bad the next day, So right now the interest rates are pretty good. We talking like high threes, low fours, which is pretty good. So as far as the unemployment rate is skyrocketing. I think the last time I checked, it was at 14 million nationwide. Yeah, so that's unfortunate that people are losing their jobs, and I hope that through this time that people can definitely retain their jobs status, especially if you aspire to be a homeowner in the near future.
Okay. So, almost finished with you. I appreciate you giving us all this knowledge.
Oh man, I'm so grateful to be here. I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity to voice my professionalism on this platform. I
Just
hope my glasses ain't throwing it off. I
um,
told you I'm at the beach.
now, talk about the closing process for a lot of people, because I've heard some crazy stories like, that process gets a little crazy. You think you have everything going, and then, they always say, man, the closing, we got to close. Talk about how stressful that can be and how real estate agents like yourself, you know, make that process a lot smoother.
Oh man. So the closing process, it can be a little stressful. Um, through my experience, I've learned to coach my clients leading up to that process. So I'm not just going to tell you a week before. My job is to coach you leading up to that process. So when your lender says, I need this document, get that document to them. Because when, especially first time home buyers, when you first put an offer in or before you about to put an offer in, I read the documents. It's like 56 documents. I read every document. We go over every document before you sign it. And in that process, the first in bold letters on the top of the page, it says, time is of the essence. That's the first sentence on the contract. So time is of the essence mean when the lender asks you for something, get it to them. When you got a home inspection due, do it. When you got certain documents. So when we get to the closing table, you got everything out the way, and only thing you got to worry about is signing papers. Closing and the signing portion takes typically about 30 minutes to an hour. It all depends on if there's any hiccups in the process, or you may have some questions with some of the documents you sign. But typically it's about 30 minutes to an hour. So leading up to the closing table, I try to coach you through that and let you know, hey, this is what's coming next. This is what's going to happen on this day with the appraisal, with the home inspection, with everything. Because once you get, it's almost like going through hurdles. You get to one hurdle, you cross that. Next hurdle, you got to cross that. And it's just step-by-step process. It is painful because the underwriter and your lender is going to ask you for documents, and they're going to say, I need that document now. So now you got to be like, oh, and you never know what document they're going to need. You never know. Every time it's something different. I've had clients where they use their 401k or some of their retirement funds for down payment, and they wait to the last minute to get it. And if you're using like a 401k, normally it takes about 10 days roughly, and you trying to get the funds to you within less than a week is just almost impossible now unless you do a rush. And now you're dependent on your financial company to send you money, and they're going to want documents to prove why you're asking for this money. Because you might be asking for let's just call it, for argument's sake, let's just call it $10,000. You might be asking for $10,000. That 401k company is not going to just give you $10,000 just because it's yours. They want to know why. So they want documentation of why. And normally it's just a contract of sale.
Now, do me a favor, just drop some jewels for, our people, just on things they need to get in order, and just drop some real estate gems on how important it is to own something, instead of renting, because that's very important. We want to teach them to own and not rent if possible. And
Right.
also talk about, you had mentioned a while back about the condominiums or something. A lot of people purchasing. Did that make sense?
Oh yeah. Once before, I got a poor connection. Once before I had talked about condominiums. So let me see. I'm gonna just use an example. I'm not gonna really drop a jewel, but I'm just gonna use an example of how home ownership can you can leverage that to start building wealth or passive income for you and your family. So for example, had a client. She bought a home, had a little equity in it. She waited a year, refinanced, pulled $70,000 out of her home, took that $70,000 and bought a condominium over in Capitol Heights. Now she's renting that condominium out. I think her mortgage on the condominium is like $900. I can't remember. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but I think her mortgage is like $900, and she's commanding 1700 per month in rent.
Hold, hold, hold,
It's nice.
hold,
Yeah.
hold on.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that she purchased the condominium, so she owns that condominium.
Yeah, okay, so she purchased a home,
Okay.
right? She purchased a home, and the home actually we negotiated a very good deal for her. So she walked into her house with equity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And over a year's time, it built more equity, which turned into be about $70,000.
Okay.
She pulled that $70,000 out of her home, used those funds to put a down payment on her next on a condominium, which she now rents out. The mortgage on that condominium is like $900,
Got you.
and the market rent around there is 1700. So she almost doubled her money, and she probably using some of that to pay some of her mortgage off too.
Right.
And then a condominium is low maintenance. They pretty much take care of everything as far as outside of the unit. Only thing you have to maintain is the HVAC system and the heating and the plumbing. And most of that could be covered under a home warranty.
Well, I appreciate you talking to our people, man. Like
Absolutely.
we said last time, we got to do this more. It's been a while, but it's been
Yeah,
crazy.
no, I think this is perfect timing because a lot of people can be enlightened by or be encouraged that home ownership is still a possibility in these uncertain times, and we definitely have to keep the market going. There's a lot of predictions out there that the market might crash or things like that. I don't think so, but again, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's coming around the corner. But if we continue to shop and do our due diligence to the market will be just fine.
Wonderful. Drop your contact information for the people.
Absolutely.
If someone's in the
Absolutely.
DMV area, real estate agent Chad Craig, he can help you out. Drop your contact information so the people can, contact you if they have questions or if they're trying to buy a home.
Absolutely. First of all, you can reach me directly on my telephone or by text at 240-444-1108. Again, it's real easy, 240-444-1108. You can follow me on Facebook or at Chad Craig. And Instagram, which I really love. A lot of millennials are using Instagram direct messages. That's a very good way to get in contact with me. It's Chad Craig _digital realtor. Chad Craig. Okay.
You broke up on that last part. Run that back again.
It's on Instagram. It's at Chad Craig _digital realtor.
All right, my brother Chad Craig, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for hitting me and giving this people this knowledge. And I'm gonna be hitting you soon. Maybe we can do this again quickly.
Absolutely. Next time we're going to be talking about how great and wonderful the market is because everything then bounced back so quickly.
That's what I'm hoping. All right, my
Peace,
brother. Peace and blessings.
appreciate it.
All right. That was
Thank
my
you.
brother Chad Craig. Blessed to have him here today. Had a little. So we had a little echoing and stuff, but we were blessed to get my brother in, and it was just a blessing. Hopefully, you guys got something out of it. We'll try to do that again. But whenever we can talk about real estate and how to prepare to buy a home, it's very important. We had Selena Ricks on here, the roadmap to better credit. She actually is a realtor that helps people with credit. But I like Chad because he brings a positive and he has a wonderful spirit, loving his job, and it's good to work with people like that. And he definitely can get you straight if you're in the Delaware, Maryland, Virginia area, DMV. So I wanted to give him a shout out for that. And peace and blessings. Tomorrow we have a show. We're going to have two shows. One is on homeschooling. So definitely I want you guys to tune in. I think we're going to go live hopefully about 2 o'clock. Um, and we're going to talk about homeschooling, especially now that the schools are shut down. Um, we're going to have someone talk to you about homeschooling. And if you're interested in homeschooling, they can give you the tips to go through it, the advice to go through it, the tools you need, and break everything down to you. So that is something that we may need to look into as a lot of the public schools are not doing well. Um, and besides that, we are definitely out of here, man. Thank you for tuning in again. Hopefully you guys got was able to get it. I'm hearing we had a little echo, but hopefully we were able to, you know, get the knowledge to you. And all right, we out of here. I'm gonna drop this intro again and we out of here. Peace and blessings.